Okay, I'm just going to give you my update. Sound a bit funny because I have an NG tube down my nose and throat. So that's to let off back pressure from my stomach up because no gas is getting through my GI system to through my stoma. So there is a blockage. I had a CAT scan. It's a grade A, which means it's severe, and they can turn around on their own. Um, he wouldn't give me an exact time frame for that, but I threw out how about 1 to 10 days as a time like possibility. He said, yeah, maybe that. Later, when a doctor came back in, he said, they'd want to give me an upward, like my best shot at self-resolving, because my alternatives, the surgeries, aren't in ideal conditions. So he thought maybe 5 to 6 days to try to self-resolve. Obviously, they really don't want me to perforate, um, because that would complicate things further. So it's like trying to give me time and space without going over. Um, so my liver is a bit angry, I guess, again, because it's putting fluid into my abdomen, which it had done after my last surgery, but I was able to get off of the I guess they're laxatives, they're diuretics, sorry, diuretics. I was able to get off the diuretics because it cleared on its own. I could get it to clear on its own. But I can't take diuretics now because of my GI system. There is a drainage paracentesis where they put a needle in the side of your abdomen and drain it manually. But because my GI system is swollen, um, if they hit my bowel, it would be fatal, right? Potentially fatal. So they can't really do that drainage. It's just too high risk. Um, So they're not going to do that. They're going to wait, and then hopefully this will clear on its own. But I can tell you that the trajectory doesn't look good because my abdomen is getting more and more swollen and tight, even with the help of the NG tube. Of course, it can turn around, so I'm not casting a shadow over myself, but it's just, if you're looking with the eye, that's what things look like. So it would be nice if it did resolve, but at the same time, I do think I should do the waiting probably in Victoria because if it doesn't resolve, it would be ideal to put my shunt in my liver to let the blood pass through my liver correctly to increase the blood flow because of the back blood flow. So it basically, my blood is rerouting itself up through my GI system, and that can cause esophageal varices. There's essentially extra blood pressure in my circulatory system from my liver. And nobody wanted to do surgery on me until I had that shunt. It's called the TIPS procedure, until I had that shunt put in. It can go very quickly, like an hour, but I think it's typically a 4 to 6 hour surgery, done by 2 radiologists. So it would be ideal to have that in place before they operate on my stomach. Um, but they don't really want to do it because it's not ideal conditions to do the shunt when I'm um, having these troubles. So they might just be forced to do that, or they just do the surgery in an emergency with all that extra pressure from my liver, and that is high risk for hemorrhaging. So the other thing is I was supposed to either get reversed or I was going to just have my rectum removed and have my stomach, my abdomen closed properly because I've been told I have both an incisional hernia. Another person told me no, it was diastasis recti, but either way, the wall of my abdomen is compromised. So they were going to do that at the same time, but now this blockage is in my small bowel, so they will have to cut into my small bowel. My hope would be that they would just um, do like a resection of the small bowel, um, and maybe fix my abdominal wall. at the same time and maybe take the rectum out and do an my stoma also needs a revision because the face of it is very irritated. So things are just really complicated. So the first doctor that came in, he told me it was pointless to call Victoria because they have no beds, and if I'm in stable condition, they just won't look at me. Well, the second doctor that came in, even though I'm somewhat stable now, if I just needed this one surgery, my abdominal, like my bypass corrected, then that would be one thing. But the thing is, I'm not really that stable because I have to have these other things done in advance to that emergency surgery. So I don't think it's so the next doctor that came in, he took it upon himself to contact my internal specialist and the hepatic team in Victoria. And so I may very well be moving to Victoria where they have more resources available. And it sounds like I might get to take somebody with me, but the nurse didn't have the details and advised me to talk to a doctor when I get to. So if they have a spot in the ambulance and a spot in the hotel room for me and one other, I will be probably taking my mother or sister, possibly my husband, but we're working out everything with the childcare, right? Because I have 6 kids. So that's the situation. Uh, it's not too big for God, you know? And at the end of the day, he, as my pen said, God holds the pen. So he's writing my story and I can trust him because he's good all the time. He's good all the time. So I trust my God. I trust our God. And it's kind of going to be an exciting ride to see what he does. So I love you guys. And I hope you all have a great weekend.